Welcome back to the Living Richardson podcast. I'm your host, Sam Richardson. Today's episode is one that's really close to my heart because we're talking about something that has shaped so much of my own life, shame. If you've ever felt like you had to live up to impossible expectations, if you've ever questioned whether you're good enough because of what society, religion, or even your own upbringing told you, then this episode is for you. My guest today is someone who has built his entire life and business around rejecting those toxic ideas and instead focusing on what really matters, being a good human. Mohammed Gandhi, or Mo, is the co-founder of Lil Helper, a company that started with cloth diapers but has evolved into something so much bigger. He's not just an entrepreneur, he's a storyteller, a disruptor of old narratives, and someone who believes that you don't need religion or external validation to lead a life of integrity, kindness, and authenticity. Mo and I dive deep into everything. Breaking free from societal shame, raising kids with strong morals without fear-based teachings, and what it means to live authentically when you're in the public eye. And of course, we get into the realities of running a business, navigating life's messy parts, and letting go of the need for perfection. This was such a raw and refreshing conversation. I can't wait for you to hear it. Well, I have Mohammed Gandhi joining me, also known as Uncle Mo. I'm blushing. I just can't believe I'm actually connecting with you in person. It has been a couple of years since you stitched my video and started this relationship, and I fangirled when I found out who you were and freaked out that you stitched my video.
Oh, you're too kind, Samantha. I actually still remember in July of 2022, I made a decision that I'm going to make one video a day, regardless of how I feel. For that, I was always like, if the muse strikes and if am in the mood, so in July, I kind of said, you know what, I'm going to become a professional now about this content thing, because I was never a content maker. I'm a businessman. I'm a product designer. And I remember kind of seeing your video and I'm like, it's so funny. I'm like, and I went down and I thought about it, and I don't write any scripts and stuff like that. And I just got this Osmo thing that kind of tracks your face and stuff like that. I'm like, let me try moving with this one. And something happened. There was good energy, and the video came out.
Oh, it was so great with the tracking of your face, and then you turned and you whipped out the towel about intimacy and stuff. It was great. And product pitch here, the Lifesaver mat truly holds up to its name. We use it every single time. We have 2 of them. Saved our sheets. I'm interested because you are a neuroengineer, right?
I'm an aerospace engineer.
Aerospace engineer.
Yes.
Oh, completely wrong. So how did you go from that to Uncle Mo, Little Helper, content creator / diaper man?
I have a bachelor's and a master's degree in aerospace engineering. I graduated 2008, so right at the start of the Great Recession that was happening, and I found a job at Bombardier Aerospace, and I started my job on the first day that Barack Obama was basically being inducted. So his swearing in ceremony was my first day of a full-time job. And I looked at that guy and I was so in awe of the fact that a black man could become the president of the United States. It was mind-boggling to me. I would have never imagined it. And I was so inspired by all of it. And then I went back to my work, and the work that was being given to me was mind-numbing, to the point where a monkey with a bit of training could do it. And I knew at that point I didn't want to do this. I did not want to do this. So Lil Helper was started because I hated my job and I wanted to get out of it. The first product that we created was a cloth diaper. And the reason we started off with the cloth diaper, not because we had kids, we were married, we didn't have a child at that point. But I wanted to start a business. I didn't know what business to start. In 2008, 2009, during the recession, was people were going back to cloth diapers because things were getting expensive. So that was one data point that I had. Another data point that I found, which was interesting, was there was a website called diaperswappers.com in
Mhm.
2008, 2009, with 65,000 parents, mostly moms from North America, that would trade used cloth diapers amongst them.
Yeah, I was part of a mommy group back then because 2011 was when I had Evangeline, and that was that was like the new cloth diapers, and I'd see these kids, and I was like, "Ooh!" And you had to hand wash them in the tub and soak them, and whew. Yes, I remember.
Yes, so that was the time. So diaper swappers, I'm like, why diaper swappers? So eBay at that time would not allow people to sell their used cloth diapers for sanitary reason. So these people had just figured out, okay, let's swap it amongst ourselves. And I found it mind-boggling that people in North America would buy used cloth diapers from each other. Because I
Mm-hmm.
come from India, so if in India, if we have a cup of tea, there are four people who will share it amongst each other and nobody will blink an eye. That's the culture, right? Like there's no like we'll share food from each other's plates, we'll eat with our hands. This is just the culture of the place. But when I came to North America to Canada in 2002, I found that the culture was very different. Like, this is my cup. You do not take sips from my cup. But then here are people who are selling the used cloth diapers. Didn't make any sense to me. So I kind of looked into it a little bit. And that was the start of that cloth diapering journey. So we started off making a diaper, one diaper, and it took us from 2009 to 2011. That is when we launched the product. And once we launched a product, I quit my job in 2012, 2013, right about that time. And I was just involved in the business. This is all I do. I live, breathe, I dream about my business. I get
Was it
emotional.
diapers?
It's weird. This is my life's work. I'm not special in any kind of way, except this one thing that I do.
You are special. Everybody finds what they're special at, and you figure out
Yeah.
how you can give that back into the world. And
And
I think that's exactly what you did.
my gift is basically making poop catchers and period catchers and pee catchers.
Yeah, we need to.
So yeah, it started off with me making that one product, and just people kept on asking about things. Hey, can you make this? Oh, sure, I can make this. Can you make that? Oh, sure, I can make that. And then it just grew to this point where we have 65 products, and I have another 20, 30 products that I want to make. But I am a good product maker. I'm not a good product marketer or a salesman. So that is where my blockage is.
Okay. I see. I think your content creation helps a lot, but I think it's more of the algorithms on all the social media platforms. They're all bad everywhere.
Yeah, but for me, I don't even think about it because the algorithm helped us get millions of views as well. And now when it's not working in our favor, we can't break 1,000 views some days. So
Right. Right. It's crazy how it like you can blow up for such a long time period, and then all of
yeah,
a sudden we plateau and then nothing.
no,
And then we're
we
like,
didn't
all right.
even plateau. We just been like, this was like a
Yeah.
gravity
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. We dropped.
and drop.
We did. That's what I want to teach my kids is as a parent. And I know that we both come from the backgrounds where societal or religious expectations shaped our lives. I was raised Catholic, and just being in the society we're in, where you have to find success. Do a job that's going to make you the most money. I mean, as
Yep.
a writer growing up, I always tell my dad, I always want to be a writer. And my dad's like, don't you dare go to school for writing. There's no money in that. You need to do this. I just read a quote the other day or something that said, whatever you filled your boredom with as a
Mm,
child,
mm.
that is what your passion is and what you should try to make a job and put out into the world. And I was like, the only thing I did when I was bored and I was on my own a lot was write and read and create stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh.
That is a good insight, eh?
Yeah. So I want to teach my kids, like, let me help you now. It is my job now. Let's figure out, try this different stuff that you like and makes you you. And we're going to figure out how you can create a sustainable, successful life for yourself. because
from
I don't want to
what
be
you love.
Yes, I don't want to be a billionaire. I don't need to be a billionaire. I just need to succeed enough that I am comfortable with, I have enough food, I don't have to worry about my bills, and I'm doing something that makes me happy and helps out into the world.
And I'm trying to redefine success for myself as well, because unfortunately, in today's world, success is only measured through wealth accumulation.
Yep.
Unfortunately. But if you look back in time, the most successful people that are my heroes were not because they were wealthy. The richest people will all be forgotten. And I think people like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett realized that. You're not going to be remembered for being the richest person alive during 2005 to whatever. You will be known by the impact that you have on people, not the amount of money that you have accumulated. And I have also kind of introduced this definition of success into my life, and which has helped me with my anxiety, with my depression, because the time that I made that video of yours, I was in the pits of depression. A year before that, I was suicidal to the point. Like I
Oh
thought
my gosh.
life was a complete failure. I have spent all of this time, energy, money doing all of this business, and it had amounted to nothing. 2021, my business was to the point where I thought I'll just close this, and all I know is I'm a good people's person. I would have taken up a job as a salesman selling some stuff, I guess.
I would have never known because that was my first introduction to you, like I said, and I came across your page and fell in love with you because your charisma and your energy. And I think that's also why I started talking about mental health. Like you said, I used to only make videos when I felt good. And so there'd be days where I didn't because I was having one of my episodes or just not feeling good. And then people started to kind of say, well, where are you? And then the whole lawsuit thing happened. And that all got my mental health got called out into the game. And I was like, well, you know what? Let's stop being ashamed of things. I am the way I am because of my past experiences, because of my CPTSD and my mental health. And I think in the world of influencers, we really need to show them that what real life is. And some days are going to be hard days. There are people that have anxiety and other mental illnesses out there. And I think this circles us right into manifesting shame in parenting and business and life. How did you become comfortable enough now to get out of those pits of despair and get past that shame?
Unfortunately, a bit of validation helped me, and it's not the best way to solve this issue. In 2021, again, fits of depression, panic attack, this, that. Our first video went viral December 5th, 13th or 14th, 2021. Fluke, something that I posted online and just took off. We had 400 followers on TikTok, woke up to 5,000. In a week, we had 100,000. Right?
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it went like that, right? And the day the video went viral, my wife walked into my home office and I was curled up in a ball, literally panting. And I'm like, shit, man, I'm so sorry. I fucked up. I thought what I was doing had value. I don't see any value in it because nobody else sees any value in it. I'm a businessman. I have a business. If nobody buys anything that from me, whatever I do or think or make, it's just imaginary. And Sophie sat down next to me and started patting me like a child, like literally, it's going to be okay, mom. It's okay, mom, but you're a smart guy. This, that. Came out of it. And in the evening, I made that video, posted it, to the point where I showed the video to Sophie when she was doing yoga. She came back, I showed her the video and I posted it. She's like, yeah, you sound a little condescending in it. Where I kind of come in and say, I know I'm not the face you expect when you think of menstrual products. I'm a middle-aged brown guy. What do I know about?
Okay, yeah, I know the video.
We looked for the delete button on TikTok. We didn't know how to use TikTok, obviously. And it was like, okay, don't delete it now. We'll delete it after we get like the first bad comment or something. Like, sure, okay. And then we forgot about it and woke up to this. The success that we got, a little bit of success that people actually found our business and came and bought product and actually kept that engine running, allowed me to drag myself out of that pits of depression. That I suddenly found, oh, what I do has value. I just didn't have the audience.
I find that very interesting. Validation from others is what pulled you out. But honestly, that validation came from your passion for your product. And I think if you weren't that passionate to hit rock bottom when you think something that you love and created failed, that shows you how much you actually love the thing you created. And I think you pouring yourself into that and then deciding to, I'm just going to be authentic and be a little callous if she thinks that. But then that's what got it out there. And I think that's really what we need to see now is true authenticity. And again, you putting your emotions and everything out there on the line is what makes people want to buy your product for you.
Yeah,
not just for the product.
And this is something in truth, I'll tell you, I do not like the idea that I have to sell myself first before selling the product, because the products that I create are actually amazing by themselves.
Yes.
But because I don't have a marketing team, I don't have a corporate structure, none of that other stuff, that I don't have any investment money. It's basically, we are just trying to figure it out. And I don't want to sell out, because nobody's going to allow me to make a G-Tube pad that loses money each time we sell it. Nobody would allow us to have something like the God forbid guarantee. Do you know what a God forbid guarantee is?
Yes, and I did want to talk about that. The God forbid guarantee. Let's talk about that.
So the God forbid guarantee is something that we came up in 2015. Even at that time, I thought that my business was done. And actually, there have been times that whenever we were always at our lowest, we still kept our values kind of the same. So in 2015, we have on Facebook, we still have that group. It's a buy, sell, trade group for Lil Helper products, mostly cloth diapers, but our products are so well made that they last you 2, 3, 4 kids. So people tend to sell our products after they've used it, and they still hold a lot of value. And we were so small at that time that I would pack all the orders, any order that would come in, I would pack it myself in the basement of my home and send it out. So I knew all my customers by name. We didn't have a lot of customers. And I saw this one customer, she was selling her diapers. And I'm like, why is she selling her brand new diapers? And then she had written over there that she had lost her child. And that is why she was selling her diapers. And I wrote her a message saying that, why are you selling it? Just return it to us. Didn't you think like we were better than this? Then she wrote back and said, my daughter passed away. I'm expecting a son and I want some other colors for him. And that is why I'm selling it. And they're already sold. Somebody bought it, this, that, and the other. And then I made a $40 or a $50 donation to WotC in her daughter's name for her honesty. And that was just a conversation that happened on a Facebook. At that time, I was advertising on Reddit. Again, something that I was trying. Somebody asked me, hey, your product looks like everything else, every other poop catcher. Your diaper looks like every other poop catcher on the market. What makes you different? And I don't like, what makes us different is the way we provide customer service. And I took screenshot of that conversation, and I would see people on Reddit posting images on Imager, imgur.com at that time. I had no idea what Imager was. I just saw people doing it. So I did it the same way. And I linked it on Reddit to that Imager post saying that, look at this. And I blanked out all the name of the customer that I was talking to. And just to kind of give you the idea of who we are. And as I was posting it, I said, well, I need a name for that post. And I called it, God forbid guarantee. And it just nothing. There was nothing to it. I just wrote it and said, this is how we provide customer service. And that's it. Suddenly, we got this lots of traffic on our website. And I found out that post on Imager had gone viral, just however the algorithm worked over there. And we had 500,000 views on that post. That was the start of the God forbid guarantee. So then we kind of instituted it as a policy in the business that God forbid something happens during your pregnancy or your birthing process where you do not come back with the child in your arms, we will refund your entire purchase amount, no questions asked.
Is, as a mom of loss, that was another thing. Like, I already loved you and saw what I liked, and then I saw that in my heart, just because there isn't enough people. Again, this is back to shame. It's something shameful that nobody talks about. And as a mom who bought a whole bunch of stuff expecting a baby to come, and I had her after she passed, I had to come back to a whole, pretty much, I think we threw it all up in my mom's attic, and I don't even really know. It's like just tons of stuff that we can never return. So I think that is absolutely amazing and speaks to your heart and sets you apart.
I'm sorry, I'm crying because just recently there was some a cousin of mine passed away, very just 6 months older than I am, and I was talking to my dad and I was telling him that the singular pain of a parent burying the child is possibly the worst pain that anybody can go through. And I'm not a believing person, I'm not a religious person, but I hope if there is a God that he does not put anybody through it. It is, yeah.
They always say you're so strong, and everyone says you don't realize how strong you are until you are put through something like that. But it still is just, it's unimaginable. I think the God forbid guarantee is
so
one of the
things like this. And there's no investor or nobody who doesn't see the world like we see the world would allow us to do these things.
Exactly. And how many children do you have now?
I have one daughter who is 14 years old.
14?
Yeah.
My daughter's about to turn 14. I don't know what to do.
It's a good age. She's just a beautiful child. And
yes.
I feel that I have learned so much from her, and it's just amazing to kind of see that child grow into this beautiful person.
Yeah, it is really amazing to watch. I mean, I have the three of different ones, all of their different personalities. And like, you think that like my youngest daughter is going to do the same type of stuff that my older daughter did. And like, they just have their own different little personalities, and getting to watch them develop into who they are as people.
I think I have a little bit of a breakthrough even with my relationship with my daughter, especially since she's growing up. We are giving you care. We also want to receive that care from you. We are giving you warmth and care and love, and we want to see it reflected from you because you are a living being. I love you no matter what you do, but not everybody around you, your friends, your partner in the future, people that you work with, understand you that well as we do as parents. So you owe them that you need to reflect back their care or their empathy or even their joy, so that if you like this, then it happens again.
Whenever they go out, everyone's like, your kids are so kind and well behaved. And, then they come home and they are, but your home is your safe space and you're supposed to unleash. But as their parents, and especially this is a transition that I'm going through currently, is I've been a stay-at-home mom for 10 years now. And now that they're all older, they're used to me being like doing everything for them, essentially, because my job was to take care of them, and they're close and they're this. And now that they're older and mom is trying to do her own stuff a little more, like, I need the respect now. They've had to learn that, oh, my mom's an actual human being, not just this like servant robot that lives in my house. I try to be extremely open, but if I'm going to respect you, you're going to respect me back too.
Yeah, and if they tell you that, oh, I'm just like this with you, no, don't treat me specially in that way. I want to be treated like you treat everybody. I have feelings as well. Another thing that I learned was that you have no choice but to love your child. But if you like them as well, that is the win.
Yes, that is so funny, because I was talking with Evangeline, my teenager, and she was, making a joke and stuff about how, oh, well, I can do whatever I want with my life or something. Because I said something about she'd be mad if I did this when I grew up or something. And I said, I'm going to have my feelings, my own personal feelings on what you do because I'm a human. But am I going to care, or am I going to like try to change you or tell you? No, because you are your own life. You can do your own thing. However, I am also my own person. I'm going to respect myself. If you are living a life or treating me in a way that is toxic, just because you are my child, when you are an adult, I don't have to put up with that. And she was like, oh, okay, don't, mommy. And I was like, yeah, like, start the respect now.
This is also, I feel this is also, you're training them to be good human beings out in the world. The world revolves around them and everybody is there just to please them and do whatever for them. Hey,
yes.
You are an active member of society. If you are a douchebag, guess what? You are going to attract douchebags to you.
Yes. and then when the douchebags become parents and they raise other little douchebags, like, do you know how many times I go to my kids' school events and I just want to punch little kids in the face? And then you see their parents are the same way behind them, and I'm like,
yeah, this is, unfortunately, it's so weird that the power dynamic that parents have with kids, you can only realize that when you become a parent and when you have that power over that child, and you can teach them and train them and do anything that you feel like. In order to drive a car or operate machinery, we put people through so many tests, and then anybody can have a child.
Yeah,
everybody can have a child.
And now with everything you're in Canada, right?
Yes.
I don't know what the different laws and stuff there are, but obviously everything that's going on here in the US.
I'm a keen observer of, I love world politics and just everything. But the US, I've been a big fan of the US growing up. And even now, I've lost a lot of respect. But I'm just I've been looking at it, it's just mind boggling what happened.
It is. As a woman who is very fertile, and I got pregnant with both Cadence and Evangeline being on the birth control pill when I was young, it scares me to death that I have two daughters, but it also scares me to death that I have a son, I will be here. If anyone needs to go camping, I'm here to take you camping. Let me just say that. Only that.
Unfortunate thing that is it has come down to that.
It has. And honestly, I think that even circles all the way back to where we talked about embracing our shame and opening up publicly on social media, because social media is not going anywhere. It's just going to keep growing. People are going to keep talking about their opinions. I think social media for me has been, obviously it's been a total mind F with everything that's I gone through. But it is the reason I keep coming back to it is because it has given me so much. I grew up very sheltered in a way because my parents were too busy living their own lives and not really intellectual on a lot of life topics. So I've had to figure out everything on my own. And a lot of that is because I was able to figure it out through online or social media. I met my husband on a free dating app way back then. So I feel that I have learned so much and connected with people, and the internet itself has made me feel so much less alone. That's why I keep coming back and I keep talking about it, because when YouTube and watching influencers and creators really started was right around when my daughter was born. So she kind of grew up where this was a normal thing, where we watch people talk about their real lives. So as I started to kind of get into my own social media person, and I've watched her grow, and I've always tried to do it as obviously if we become well known, how's this going to affect her at school, or, because people know me and people know her. But also with me being a social media figure and a parent, as a person on social media, I want to make sure that if a child, somebody else's child, is watching me and consuming my content, yes, I might be a little over the top and maybe perverted in sometimes, with my talent, but I also want it to be realistic and educational and authentic. So whatever you're going to see over here, what I do, it's going to be the truth. And I want to make sure that kids who are in homes that aren't necessarily safe, or they're only seeing one side of everything, that they have the opportunity to see the other side, and it's there if they want to. I don't want to force it down anyone's throat, but it is there, and there are other ways of life.
I look at social media very differently, though.
Okay.
I'm a very private person, so I personally I don't have any kind of social media presence. I don't like to post pictures of me or my families, or this is where I'm doing, this is what I'm eating, or whatever. Nothing personally. This is my thing, that my life is not very interesting. You'll be bored if you see what I do day in and day out. My hope is to put out content of the work that I do, and I want to show people that the work that I'm doing is not unique as well. Like, you can do this. Anybody can do this. Anybody can start a business. Anybody can be of service to the people around them. There was a time when we were not getting views, and I was like, hey, should I just record myself eating? And like, should I do, I know how to shave my beard in a way. Should I put that out there? And like, I don't want to be known for the guy who shows somebody how to trim their beard, because really I'm not that great at it in truth. I'm just doing it. I know how to do my beard.
Okay. I understand then. Okay, now I see where you're coming from. Before Basin Wars, I was already doing this. I was doing funny, obviously the towel thing. You stitched that before Basin Wars, I think. Like, it happened right before. And it's like, thank you for being one of the only companies that just like stayed with me and was my friend and helped me. I just can't even thank you for your support. And
what is I don't understand why people like.
No,
who you are. How does it matter, right? Like,
well, and what happened is I just told the story because I was a storyteller. I talked about my life, but then anytime I tried to make any other content other than Basin War, like, people would harass me and comment, no, you're nothing. You're just, your basin made you famous. And that has taken a lot right now to try. That's why I stayed away from talking so much in stories or making as much videos as I did before, because it's almost like who am I? I'm just somebody that talked about my basin, and that's what made me famous. That's what blew me up. It wasn't me, it was the story. But then I have the other people who have been here before that too, or even have found me from that, and they say, we stay because of you. And I think you are doing the same thing and not giving yourself enough credit. And if you want to show people that anybody can do this, anybody could start with their idea and put the passion behind it, maybe they do need to see like a little vlog of you sitting in your office all day, pouring your passion. Like, look, this is what it takes. It takes sitting here doing it all. Making your videos. Have Sophia do like just little snippets of you throughout the day, and we'll piece it together.
Sophie looks at these comments that we get on social media that there are people who have called me the second coming of Christ, to like the most fantastic man in the world, and everything in between. And she's like, they have no idea that this man does not pick up his socks from his bedside every morning. And like, I wish I could tell those people, you have him in your house for like half a day and you'll be screaming.
I did see a comment just like yesterday on one of your videos about, does Sophia know that every woman on the internet's in love with you, or something like that? But it's because you're authentic and you're compassionate, and as a man, that's very rare to find.
Yeah, I'm a very soft. I was always a very soft kid. Growing up, being raised with only women, because the men in our house were just busy working and making money and whatnot, all businessmen. So we were just raised by women. Our moms and aunties were the kindest people that you would find, generous to a fault, all of them. But when you grow up in India, then you have to put up a front, because the mindset over there is, if you are soft as a man, people will run you over. People will, you are prey. If you don't kind of do this and not looking like that, then people are going to take advantage of you. Then I had to, from like the age of 13, 14, again, I was growing up as a fat kid, so there was a lot of bullying happening. So I had to put up this front that do not F with me, and I'm not that guy. So I had to pretend. Literally, as soon as I stepped out of the house, I had to pretend to be somebody. And as I came to Canada, and when I was 19 and living here and being married to Sophie, and Sophie has kind of made me who I am today. I would hold grudges with people. I was a very kind of like not a good person to be around. I would just like get upset very quickly and this and that. And she kind of allowed me to be who I am right now. Otherwise, had I not been with her, I would have been a very, very different person. I would have been a very angry person, very grudgy person who's just kind of jealous of people. So I'm happy that I'm living who I am. I got lucky in a way, I feel.
This is what we need. Your product alone is amazing, hands down. Okay, I'm a testament to that. Not only did you create a company, this product that is needed, you created a community with your Facebook group. That is what I think is amazing. Even beyond you creating this product, you created a community.
Because I'm interested in making things better, because that is the only thing I do in my business. How do I make whatever is going on, can I make it a little bit better? Can I make it a little bit better? That's all I'm looking at. Understanding that everybody has a moral compass and you can develop it as well, even if you don't have, if you even if as a child you were not given one, if you feel the need, you can actually figure out what's right and wrong yourself. You don't need a 2000.
Exactly. That's what I try to teach my kids too. The whole gentle parenting thing. People think it's just letting your kids do whatever you want. No, it's not. It's when they do something wrong, I stop and I say, okay, was that the right choice you just made? Do you maybe want to try again? Because right now you have the chance to try again. You're not always going to have that choice.
I think people misunderstand gentle parenting, where gentle parenting is also taking the time to have very necessary discussions, but in a calm way. That's the only criteria, that we are not going to scream and shout, and I'm not going to threaten you with violence or ground you and this, or I'm going to take away your privileges for you to do whatever you need to do anyways. That is not how you teach a child. You teach a child by just talking with them and telling them why it is important to do something and what are the repercussions if you do not do whatever you're supposed to do. That's it.
Yes. And going on that, I think it's also important that when they do mess up, we don't say, what's wrong with you? Why did you? It's more of, you're a person, you're a child. Guess what? I did the same thing probably. Well, maybe we ask you, why did you do that? Because you wanted to, but there's nothing wrong with you. Like I got that from my mom is, I was the perfect child. I never did this. I can't believe you did that. And that's what I'm learning. Like when they mess up or do something that is stupid, it's not, oh my gosh, you're so stupid.
Do not personalize the failures.
Yes, I love that. Do not personalize failures.
The failures actually do not even acknowledge it as a failure. It is just a learning. Oh, that didn't work. Wow. And that was something amazing that my parents did. And I don't know if they did it accidentally or they understood what they were doing. They never told me no for anything. I could do anything I wanted. Like literally, I would tell them I want to go and learn karate. I'm like, okay, go do karate. I ran a road race. I was a fat kid. I literally couldn't walk like 10 steps. And I thought I could run 5 kilometers. I finished half an hour after the second last guy. One thing that I encourage all kids, and I do it with my daughter. I tell her, be shameless. The shameless part is not that, oh, you remove your clothes and go prance about naked on the street. That is not shameless. That is kind of stupid. Shameless means don't attach this thing that you have to succeed at it or it has to do this. Just do it because you want to do it and see how it feels.
Yes, I love that.
When I talk about that income, like my bedwetting, I'm like, it happened. That was an old person. There are people in my family who have told me, like, why are you telling people that you used to wet the bed? I'm like, that person was 25, 30 years ago. I am, and the lucky part is I knew that person the best, that old person. And that is the only person I can talk about in the real sense. I can't talk about you. I don't know anything about you. Can I tell your story? I can only tell the stories that I know personally. And if I attach shame to that as well, then there's nothing left to, like, I have no other stories then.
And that's what we've learned, that everybody has a story. Everybody has multiple stories of where they come from, how they've gotten to where they are now. And we are all humans with no original experiences. There's somebody out there that understands how all of us are feeling.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yes.
100%. And I kind of feel that so strongly with kids, especially. Anything new that you have learned from your kids unexpectedly that, oh, wow, I didn't think you had it in you.
Yeah, actually, it's funny. I love all of my children dearly. But my one and only my little boy, he has not hit his growth spurts yet. He is still like the shortest kid. A lot of people think he's younger than he is. He's about to be 11. He's got my husband's build. He will shoot up. He's just still very tiny and skinny. And he's not a sports player. He would be afraid to try things too. But we found this Ninja Warrior class where it's really cool. It's called the Ninja Hub, and they just have all kinds of different stuff. And he's gone to it twice now. Already after his first class, he can run up a 9-foot wall and climb up it.
And that's the thing. Who knew?
Yeah, I'm like, I've seen this boy try to throw a basketball up in the hoop and can barely like get the basketball off his hands because there's just like, where's the strength, baby? Come on. And I just like, there it is. That's what there's something for everyone. So please, if your child is not a sports person, find something, maybe chess, maybe, like robotics. Not everybody has to fit in this perfect little bubble that you're supposed to. Find what you're good at and what you're happy doing.
My daughter, Zara, is blind. Yeah, and it's a congenital disease. This is the way she is. She sees about 5 to 10% of what anybody else would see. I taught her how to ride a bike with tricycles, and it took a lot of time and effort to kind of figure that out because she doesn't learn visually, but she can't see. So you have to teach her. She doesn't know what pedaling a bike means. She doesn't understand the motion. So I when she was younger, I kind of taught it to her when she was 3, 4. When she was about 9 or 10, all the other kids in her class were riding a bike without training wheels. And she said, Baba, I also want to ride a bike without training wheels. And I'm like, kid, you're blind. You need to see it. But obviously, because we don't tell her what her limitations are, why should I impose whatever my limiting beliefs on her? I said, okay, you want to try bicycling, we'll figure out how to bicycle. We just practiced, and we got her somebody who could teach her a couple of tricks. And then in 2 weeks, she was riding a bike without training wheels.
Oh my gosh.
And she's blind, and she figured out how to balance herself, and she figured out how to be on the road and track people. And
that is amazing. Congratulations and kudos to you, Dad, for helping her and showing her instead of saying, no, baby, you can't, you're different.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, you can.
I'm like, you literally can do anything. You can do anything you want, and anybody can do anything they want. You just need to have that need in you to want to do it. That's it. Literally, that's it.
I'm going to say this. You don't want to make yourself the selling point for your product, but you are your product, especially like after talking to you now. And like, think of the big companies. They all have their gimmicks, the Geico, Gecko, and Emu Limo. Okay. They have to pick a gimmick because all their stuff is the same. So what can set them apart? But here's the thing is, the gimmick for your company is you, but you're not a gimmick because there is no other company out there that does what you do. And I think that's why you are Little Helper. Little Helper is more than the products. Little Helper is you because it's a compassionate company with the God forbid guarantee, with the amount of passion you put into this because you know what it was like to be a formerly overweight kid. You know the shame it came with that. Now you watched your aunts and your wife and now your daughter go through the menstrual cycle. So you want to know, how can I help you? Something that you will never, ever experience yourself, but you're like, how can I help you? Yeah. You are Little Helper, not your products, you. So put your face out there, keep doing it.
Yeah, it's all going to change. It's like if I can show up to a podcast looking like this with like my rosacea coming out,
I'm in my pajama pants still.
hey, living the good life, Samantha.
I am. Because I was like, you know what? It's snowing out and I'm going to be sitting in my chair with the blanket on. You can't see my pants. I'm wearing a bra. You got a bra. That's it. That's enough.
Sam, great meeting you.
You too.
Fun time chatting. I hope something good comes out of it. And best of luck with everything you do.
Thank you so much, Mo.
This conversation with Mo was everything I hoped for and more. It's not often that you get to sit down with someone who just gets it, who understands the weight of expectations, the power of choosing your own path, and the freedom that comes with letting go of shame. One of the biggest takeaways for me today is that being a good person isn't about following a rule book or meeting some impossible standard. It's about the choices we make every day. It's about how we treat people, how we show up for ourselves and our families, and how we give ourselves permission to be human. I hope this conversation left you feeling a little lighter, a little more seen, and a little more empowered to live life on your terms. If it did, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Send me a message. If you think someone else could benefit from this episode, please share. Mo, thank you for bringing your whole self to this space today. And to all of you listening, thank you for being here, for showing up, and for choosing to walk this journey with me. Before we wrap up, if you want to support an amazing company that truly walks the talk when it comes to sustainability and authenticity, check out Lil Helper, Lilhelper. Their products are designed to make parenting and life easier without the guilt of pressure or perfection. And a special thank you to my listeners. You can get 10% off your order by using the code LivingRichardson or heading to lilhelperusa.com/discount/LivingRichardson. Until next time, take care of yourself and remember, you are enough exactly as you are.